India taking over the chairmanship of G20, and that too in 2022, the year when India celebrates Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Friends, when in 1947 we gained independence from the British imperial rule after almost 200 years, who at that time would have thought that within 75 years India will be sitting at the center of the high table where the global agendas regarding the global economies, the climate change and such like crucial decisions would be made. India would be sitting at the center stage when the global economy being in a spin because of the global pandemic. People will be looking towards India, and India would be giving not just the suggestions but also the solutions, and India will be telling the world that how together we can face these challenges, how together we can find these solutions, and how together we can make the world a better and a safer place. Dear students, now that G20 has become so very important, I hope you will be knowing that be it your pre-mains or now even the interview, you need to be prepared for this. If you are thinking about IAS 2023 or 24, G20 must be in your priority list. Keeping this in mind, we are coming up with this short video in which let's try to understand that how we can deal with this topic of G20 from both the pre and the mains perspective. So students, let's try understand some of the important facts and the analytical viewpoint that can help you in your exam. So from the pre perspective, let's first highlight some of the important facts. So this G20 was established in 1999. And it was a group of the finance ministers as well as the central bank governors. You have to remember this, that the central bank governors were also there as part of the group. And there were 19 countries. These 19 countries like Argentina, Australia, Brazil, China, India, USA, UK and others. I hope you will remember these 19 names. They are important. Fine. And remember that EU is the 20th member, 19 individual countries and EU. Then in 2008, when there were the financial crisis, global financial crisis, at that point of time it was decided that now the heads of the states or the government must come to the table to take the most important, most crucial decisions to protect the global harmony, global economy. This G20, students, is not a legislative body. Now what it means, that the agreements and decisions have no legal impact. However, they do influence the countries, the member countries and their policies, as well as the global cooperation for which the members strive. Now after knowing these specific facts for your pre, some of the other important facts for your pre are: the G20 countries, they represent 85% of the global GDP, 75% of global trade and 2/3 of world's population. And I hope you understand how huge this is. Then the G20 members, they also contribute 79% of the world carbon emissions. And with this, I hope you will understand that how important this group is when it comes to the idea of climate change and to reverse it, to undo the damage or to do the meaningful things in the future for sustainable development. Now when we talk about G20, it promotes the idea of multilateralism, because there are multiple members who come together, who negotiate, who agrees, who discusses and then who try to implement such agendas that have global impact. Since 2011, G20 summits have been annually held, right? And they have been under the idea of rotating presidency, and under this idea of rotating presidency, now is the turn for India. This practice of rotating the chair, this is something that is very important. You know, it gives a chance to every member country to shape the global agenda. And this idea highlights the idea of equality. Now, when we talk about the themes of G20, initially it was thought that the focus must be on the macroeconomic policies. But then the leadership realized that to make this world a more beautiful place, the emphasis has to be on multiple things. And accordingly, the things like trade, climate change, sustainable development, energy, and anti-corruption, all of this started to get the adequate and the due attention. In 2021 itself, it was decided that the coal-fired power plants in the poor countries will not be funded anymore. It was a very crucial decision. Then it was also committed that the carbon neutrality will be more emphasized upon. Then in the 2021 summit, it was also agreed that two-pillar solution to address the tax challenges that come out of the digitization of the economy will now be emphasized upon. All these things make G20 all the more important, relevant, and crucial as a grouping. Now, if we have to talk about the significance of G20, the most important thing that we should emphasize upon is that how it stood for a collective action at the time of the great pandemic, at the time of COVID-19 pandemic. In March 2020, G20 leadership agreed to inject $5 trillion into the global economy so that the impact of the pandemic can be handled in a more tactful manner. In addition to this, they also agreed to contribute to the WHO's COVID Solidarity Response Fund, but that was on voluntary basis, right? And when I encircle or underline anything, I hope you understand that in your pre or mains how relevant, how important those words and those facts will be. Beyond this, one thing that is very important is to know that G20 is all about one thing. And what is that? It is reconciling the irreconcilable. And trust me, when I say that the idea is to reconcile the irreconcilable, the idea is that it is possible only and only by and through India. India has the capability, India has the commitment to make this happen. And this is possible now under the dynamic leadership of our beloved Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. Continuing from here, if we look at G20 under India's chairmanship, look at this symbol and look at the idea that it gives. The idea comes to the logo. What is the logo? It is Earth juxtaposed with the lotus, and the theme is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is one earth, one family, one future. Look at the extent to which we believe and we want the global solidarity and the global harmony. The logo reflects India's idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole earth is a family, because of which India has always believed in global harmony. Now this is very important for all of us to know. Then what should be India's agenda at G20? Now this is a way forward kind of a thing today, but by the time you will be writing your answers, by the time you will be appearing for your interview in 2023 or 2024, this would be little already decided, right? So here I would like to emphasize on few facts. Number one, that the world now needs new windows for financing climate infrastructure. At this point of time, India has an opportunity that through G20 we can emphasize on the fact that the International Monetary Fund, World Bank and the ASEAN Development Bank, they need to open up new windows for financing climate infrastructure to support the Panchamrit goals. Here I leave you a task. Let's see how many of you are sincere students. I would like you guys to comment in the comment section what are Panchamrit goals, and do not just write them. I would appreciate if you make a proper structure while you write the Panchamrit goals, and the best of the best answer written in the comment box will get a reward from our side. Secondly, this G20 can help India roll out India Stack on the global stage. Now, what is this India Stack? It is world's largest digital public utility, which is growing by leaps and bounds. And some of its principal components are Aadhaar, UPI, eKYC and DigiLocker. You can also write a short note on any of these four for your self evaluation, like how you can express yourself when it comes to these keywords: Aadhaar, UPI, eKYC and DigiLockers. Number 3, India can also use this platform to push its own agenda and South Asia's agenda on global scale. For example, this is very important, by coming up with an alternative financial mechanism to US dominated SWIFT. Now you can also write something about SWIFT, and the best answer, this will be the second thing that we are ready to reward if you give good answer in the comment section. Number 4, now this is again something that is very important. G20 can also give us an opportunity to emphasize that there is a need to reimagine the shareholding structure of IMF and World Bank. We need to amend, we need to rejuvenate, we need to make these Bretton Woods twins more friendly in the present context. Though it is easier said than done, but this is a time to begin at least, right? Then number 5, this G20 can be a good platform for India to showcase the multiple aspects of its composite culture, so that the world begins to appreciate our cultural richness. This will be a great opportunity for India to showcase its soft power abroad. Last but not the least, India can also use the opportunity to promote its tourism industry. Now, with all these things in mind, let's try do few things today. The things like, you guys will be talking about IMF and World Bank. IMF and World Bank. Write something about it for your practice. Share it with us. We are ready to evaluate it for you. Talk about India's tourism potential in the coming years. We will evaluate for you. Talk about the things like Panchamrit goals or Aadhaar, UPI, eKYC, DigiLockers. We are here to evaluate for you. Talk about something like SWIFT. We are here to evaluate for you. Talk something about this idea of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. We are here to evaluate for you. At Raj IAS, we stand committed to serve the interest of students, be it our enrolled students or those who have subscribed to our channel to get authentic, genuine feedback from our side. Best of luck.